All right, guys, so I have a few minutes to spare, so I'm going to do a quick video on some of the common mistakes that brand new realtors make as soon as they get their real estate license. One of the common mistakes that I see is a realtor choosing a brokerage based on, the name brand. Like, they'll go to a big name brokerage that's very common and popular around nationwide, and then they just choose that brokerage based on name brand. Guys, the reality is you are your own brand as an independent contractor. So despite the name brand or the success of that brokerage, a lot of those brokerages are independently owned. So it doesn't mean that you're going to emulate that success just because that brokerage has success nationwide. What if that brokerage is not one of the top brokerages in your area? Then you're just choosing the brokerage based on name brand versus the one who can actually catapult you to success. So I would encourage new realtors to do a lot more homework and to interview multiple brokerages, not too many, but which goes to my next point. Another common mistake realtors make is interviewing like way too many brokerages. Guys, you can only work at one. So you have to set a criteria for yourself and say, okay, I'm going to look at some of these brokerages, but based on this is what I want. So for example, if you don't want to pay monthly fees, then all these brokerages that charge monthly fees, they're already out of the window. Why even interview them? If you know that you don't want to pay upfront monthly fees, stuff like that. If you don't want to pay an upfront annual fee, then those brokerages that charge it, out of the window. So those are some of the things to look for. A common mistake is they don't know what questions to ask. So a lot of new realtors will go online and Google questions to ask brokerages, how to interview them. While that can help, I think it's a good starting point. Understand you really don't know what to ask until you start getting more experience. So understand that your first brokerage will probably not be your last stop. Most realtors, if not all, do not start with one and end with one. There's very few that do. So the vast majority of realtors will start at a brokerage and go to another. But make sure wherever you go, they have to give some type of support to your goals, whatever that may be. So if you're a full-time employee, for example, and you're trying to build your real estate career on the side, they should be able to support that. And hopefully you have a minimal cost while you're working at that brokerage. Another common mistake that new realtors make is they're overcompensating themselves, trying to impress the client that they're working with. Eventually they'll get the grasp and understand, like, a lot of these buyers and sellers are unrealistic a lot of the times, and a lot of that comes from lack of experience. So I'm not going to fault the realtor for that, but understand you should have some type of mentor or leader helping you and assisting you in that way. And that goes to my next point. Another mistake that these new realtors are making is picking allowing themselves to work with a mentor that is very poor at mentoring. Like, some of these brokerages will assign you one. Be more in control and tell them, hey, I want to vet and scout out this person. I want to interview their team. Do your research, because how you're trained in the business can affect the way and your learning curve that you have, and the success that you have goes a long way. You don't want to learn bad patterns and bad mistakes.